before you touch your 60 and give it to the federal government. Then you're going to take 10% of that and give it to the state government. And then you get the rest. And, oh, by the way, you can only sell it who the government tells you can sell it to. That's a famous case called the Wicker-Filburn case in 1942. A guy made more wheat on his land and let his family eat it. The government said so. He lost in court by the Supreme Court. So, what do you do for that? See, why do we allow these things to occur? So, I think the government will fail to do its confiscation if we all in unison say no more. Mm-hmm. But they're going to sacrifice certain people first and make victims of them first, or make examples of them.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to be that one. Hope you're willing to be that one. Martin Luther King was willing to be that one. We just got to be those ones, or they're going to be the ones.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. A burglar's coming to your house tonight. You lay in bed and let them fight? He rock and rolls. You rock and roll. Exactly. You guys rock and roll. And that sounds melodramatic, but that's really what's happening. Because right now, every baby born today, that I delivered today, wherever it's born, owes the federal government $57,000. And counting. We borrow $1 million a minute from China, our money we print.
And North Vietnam now. We're borrowing from North Vietnam. I heard that.
We should have been there. It's a whole other story. Now they're more about, oh my gosh, that was a whole heroin trap. So you had to hand up first. You over here, okay.
Got John. Sergeant.
As far as like when you go to call your local representatives, make sure you do a little bit of research. I was able to play. I wasn't sure what part of Nash County holding versus Butterfield covered, so I went ahead and called Butterfield's office.
I called them all.
Wanted to know why he wasn't going to be attending Netanyahu's speech.
Butterfield didn't show up?
No. And the person answering the phone stated that it was a violation of ethics. Now, before I made the call, I looked into that. There was no ethics violation. While my study of the Constitution, I do believe it was out of place for the House of Representatives to be dealing internationally. It should have been Senate or executive. There's still not a violation of ethics. And even the White House press secretary said that no, we're not accusing him. There was no violation of ethics. So, okay, which is it? The White House press secretary misinformed? Did he tell a lie? Or,
just do your research on that whole district even more so. Again, I just think we have to be very selfish. There's a great book on foreign policy.
Right, but the point is, make sure when you call, make sure you're educated on your call. So that I got the guy to just hang up.
But to me, Netanyahu is such a small piece of pie. The question is, we have right now nationalized health care. We have education coming down. To me, Netanyahu speaking or not speaking is irrelevant in my analysis. What's relevant is there is not one single constitutional act that we hear on the news. I don't care if it's Fox or NBC. It's people's opinion on what to do with your private property. This is nothing, because if we were chained to the Constitution, it'd be pretty boring. The president would have no function at all. John Quincy Adams, people called him a tyrant as president. He did nothing. But again, I don't want us to be. We go down this path again of like knowing when they start asking, what's your answer, Greg, on health care? Well, I happen to read every word of Obamacare. It's been 5 months. Okay, HR 3200. And I read every word of the Dodd-Frank bill as well. And that is just in the weeds. The answer is, what Ron Paul would do, he would read the bills if they're not Article 1, Section 8. Why read the bill? No. In our senatorial campaign, in the primary, every single candidate, I don't care, Pastor Harris, any of them, all these conservatives, all said there's something good about Obamacare. And I stood there and said, how can anything be good that's unconstitutional? And I'm the only doctor there. I know Heather was a news practitioner, but still, it's not good. Pre-existing diseases. First of all, it's a scam. One sentence, one word, one dot, one apostrophe, change your plan, it's all gone. So that was a scam to make you think that. And again, that's coercion and compulsion. If you paint houses, and the federal government says you must paint houses to anybody I tell you to, regardless if they pay, you got a business.
Yeah.
So for even if it's a good idea, the poor cancer patient can't get care anymore, I have a bad kidney disease. I have no insurance, I can't get insurance. But I don't want to be forced to take me. But if all 267 health insurance companies were in North Carolina, there'd be a high-risk pool, low-risk pool. The free market would dictate.
Right.
The free market would dictate.
Absolutely.
That's why I don't want to get, now I had to be prepared on all these topics. I read all these bills, but I know Tom didn't. I know nobody else read these bills. I know Bird didn't. I know Bird didn't read his own bill. I read it. Okay? Because again, Article 1, Section 8. That's all you gotta do. There's nothing hard, ma'am, to don't have to memorize all these things. And don't tell them to use big words. Just say, hey, where's your power to tell this boy that he must have this career? And think about public schools. It's 15,000 hours of compulsory education. The greatest generation of education I believe ever was our founding fathers' parents. They said challenge everything. There's no schools. None. The average American complex literacy rate in 1840 was 97 to 100%. Most spoke 3 languages. 2 generations after slavery, 85% of African Americans were complex literate. Education does not equal schooling. Woodrow Wilson wanted to have, read his words. He wanted government education to have the elite educated and the beliefs of it underneath. Dewey said he wanted to replace Johnny's father's God with government. The Carnegie Endowment Foundation says our only job of government education is to make the children submissive to the federal government's wishes. They wrote about Common Core in 1917. So anyone in this room votes for Jeb Bush for president is part of the problem. I don't care Hillary's the opponent. Don't matter to me. We have to understand the enemy's progressivism, collectivism. That's the enemy. So if we pledge our life, our fortune, and our sacred honor, and the outcome is up in the air, we may lose. I can go there with my wife tonight. I can rest my head on my pillow. It can be okay. That's what it comes down to. I was like in a good roll, man. I was in a
That's
good roll.
good. That's good. I want to thank you. You made me feel better in a statement I made today. I made to a gentleman. He was talking about who he may vote for come 2016. I said, I'm not. Never again in my life will I vote against someone. I'm either going to vote for someone, or I'm not voting.
I agree 100%. Again, and you're not wasting your vote if it's one. You're not wasting your vote if you write your name in. You're not wasting your vote. It's your conscience. It's this Leviathan, this behemoth, and they want to make you feel like you're scared. And for those who don't know Jesus, please know Him, and then you're free, and you're free as can be.
Amen.
Then the next thing is, then use your discernment and do things. And again, what got me running into this whole race way back when was not Obamacare, not abortion, not any of those things that I deal with every day. It was just the idea of I want everybody to know they're free. And Romans 12:9 is the verse that stuck in my heart, Good Friday of 2009. It says, hate evil and cling to good. But the first 2 words, that's what you read, but it's in genuine love or hypocrisy love. It's in love. Change the person who thinks abortion is okay. Change the person who thinks progressivism. It ain't you, just show them love and kindness. Be their friend. I want to give speeches around the place where you're not supposed to go because I wanted to show that. But again, it's the hypocrisy that, I hear, the thing that's like Huckabee. Huckabee's a socialist.
Yep.
Big government socialist. Nothing against the people who ran, but they didn't know the Constitution. But he's a socialist. He's just pro-life. Well, again, the pro-life thing, guys, please hold on to that. Please hold, because if tomorrow the government passed a law and 5 people in a row said that everybody named Bill must have their left arm cut off, what would you do? That's when the state gets in front of everybody named Bill, says you can't cut their arm off. What if tomorrow the federal government says everybody must be vaccinated with this vaccination? How can you believe it or not? But they must be vaccinated. See, you're free. There's nothing about must that happens in your life. But you only will be free if you act free. These two guys wrote books, Trenberg and Gordon, in 1720s. They called themselves, God, what do they call themselves? They wrote these little caveats of little sayings. And one of them was, if a person lives at the behest of somebody else, that's slavery. That's slavery. And that's what I believe we are. What do you mean you're a slave, you're a serf? You're free in America. Really. Don't pay your property tax. Don't ask your pediatrician to show you the informed consent of the medical care. Now, I'm big on vaccines because all this that they're pushing down the other day. That's what's important. Read the brochure. It says it can cause death, every single one of them. So just read it. Ask questions. Just read and ask questions. And nobody's an expert. This whole idea that we must bow down to the experts is hellacious. I'm going to end with this. Plato's Republic. He divides society. You had the auxiliary or military in the middle. They kept the producers down here. That produced for the guardians. And out of the guardians were the philosopher kings who made the law and lived outside the law. Tell me that ain't today. Tell me that ain't today. Last bit of a little constitutional stuff. I think it was Madison in paper 57 said, Congress, he said, we'll never have a tyrannical government because Congress and their friends must live under the laws they pass. So, George deserves a primary. Everybody deserves a primary. And we need to have a system broken where anybody can run in November. It has to be crushed somehow. And you keep changing. If you don't give me your vote and your money, and don't be scared when they start to scare you. Oh, you want that evil Republican as a president, you better vote for this D. Oh, no. Because we all have the same color of blood. America's motto is many one. Pluribus unum, many one. What makes America special is our diversity. You can live in France, you're never a Frenchman. Live in Gabon, you're never a Gabonese. Live in Japan, you're never Japanese. Any of them come here, they're American. America is supposed to be the rule of law, based in God's natural law. Not a rule of law that just some arbitrary law. It's based in God's natural law. The moment it's not, it is not constitutional, regardless of what it says. Common language. That means trade. That means commerce. That means I'm Italian. I love my Italian food. It keeps our culture, but it merges together where you get the benefits of everything. Now you go to a certain place, who loves diners, drive-ins, and dives? Yeah. What makes that show great? Is everywhere you go, it's different. Yeah. But now they want to homogenize everything is the same. No, we can't lose that culture. American culture, because it is different, merge into one. Common sovereign borders. We have to understand what we're fighting for. Liberty or death. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.